5 minutes to get up to speed with a rogue? Let's go. Rogues use guile to either remove their targets from the battlefield or disable them. They typically tend towards dealing as much damage as possible in a short period of time, but they can fill multiple roles. What defines rogues the most is their ability to move around the battlefield in an instant and use their abilities instantly without any recovery time. Rogues gain a boost of damage whenever they hit targets either flanked or under any affliction. Furthermore, they can dish out a huge amount of burst damage thanks to their backstab passive, allowing them to boost their first attack out of stealth or invisibility. Assassins want to deal with their targets discreetly and quickly. They gain a bonus to accuracy, penetration and crit damage for all of their stealth attacks. However, they also take 15% more damage from any source, so they need to be more cautious than other rogues. Street fighters deal even more damage to targets flanked or victim of any affliction when they are themselves flanked or blooded. If they are both flanked and blooded, their crit damage also increase. In exchange, they have longer recovery time whenever they are not flanked or blooded, forcing street fighters to always fight in big crowds to be effective. Therefore, they can fill the role of rather offensive tanks. Tricksters gain only 10% increased damage against flanked or afflicted targets, but in exchange unlock automatically illusion spells from the wizard class to help them in battle. Those spells still use guile and mostly serve tricksters to evade their target and disabling crowds of enemies. They can either fill the role of supportive tanks or hybrid damage dealers, helping out the team from time to time. Escape and its upgrades allow rogues to move around the battlefield with extreme ease and avoid having to disengage enemies if necessary. One series of upgrades focuses more on stealth to either move around the battlefield unnoticed or dish out more damage. The other upgrades gives more utility to the spell to disable enemies and do extra AoE damage. Finishing Blow is what you expect from a good finishing move, dealing amazing damage on low health targets. It can be upgraded to either increase even more the bonus damage on low health target or instead frighten the enemy. Strike the Bell is an attack with an added effect based on the type of weapon equipped. One-hand melee weapon gives additional raw damage over time, two-hand melee weapons stagger the enemy, ranged weapons gain an additional +3 in penetration. This spell effect will therefore highly vary on your weapon and may not always be the best fit for your build. The spell can be upgraded in 3 separate ways to increase one of the 3 additional effects further. Crippling Strike, Blinding Strike and Withering Strike all put an affliction on the target on top of dealing good damage, especially in two-handed scenarios as they are full attacks. Sap is a disabling ability afflicting the enemy with confusion and hobble. Its upgraded version allows enemies to confuse other enemies when they hit them to cause even more chaos. Smoke Veil is a default invisibility spell which can be upgraded to add disabling effects to it to mess with the enemy. Gambit is a strong attack costing 4 guile, gaining additional crit damage and crit chance for each point of guile remaining. If the attack crits, 2 guiles are refunded. Lastly, Vanishing Strike is the ultimate spell of the rogue, allowing it to do a full attack and turn invisible instantly after. Any weapon combination can work effectively with rogues, but overall single one-hand options tend to be slightly weaker for pure rogues as they don't take advantage of the full attack spells. It is worth noting that every single spell of the rogue work with both melee and ranged weapons. Builds relying on damage through abilities benefit more from dual wielding, but two-hand weapons can also work in burst-oriented builds. Shields can be used for tanking builds as usual, especially when using the Street Fighter subclass, while the Trickster can get away without a shield thanks to his illusion spells, highly improving its deflection by default. Now dash your way onto the battlefield and disable your targets one way or another with the rogue. See you soon for another 5 minutes crash course.